Hey y'all, this is Jamie. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am going to be testing out and giving a review for the LA Girl Hey Hey Vacay Under the Palms eyeshadow palette. But before we get into that, question of the day: what is your dream vacation destination? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so really excited to get into this palette, kind of share my thoughts. I don't believe I've tried out too many LA Girl eyeshadows before. LA Girl seems to be kind of a looked over brand, and I feel like they tend to have kind of a smaller display wherever they are, whether it's Ulta or Target or Walmart. Are they at Walmart? Yeah. Or at Walmart, they tend to have kind of a smaller display. So yeah, I saw this palette. I really liked the look of it. So we're gonna go over the product details, what this is, where you can find it, how much it is. We're going to go over the application process, and then we're gonna end with my pros and cons and my final rating for this product. So let's get into product details. All right, so this is the Hey Hey Vacay eyeshadow palette from LA Girl. This is the Under the Palms palette though, so I got a little confused when I was looking it up online. I think I saw the other one in Target as well, but there is another Hey Hey Vacay palette from LA Girl, and it There is another one right here that has more of the pink cover rather than the green, and that one is called Good Times and Tan Lines. But this is a 16 color shadow palette. It contains mattes, shimmers, and foils. From what I've been able to tell, there are 7 mattes, 5 shimmers, and then 4 foil shades. It has warm sandy neutrals, palm tree green, and sunset orange. This is $18 online. If you get it at Target, I believe it's $15.99 on Target.com. I got it in the Target store for $14.99. Let's go ahead and move on to swatches for this palette. All right, so the first 2 rows we have Naked, No Regrets, Sandy Toes, Vibin', Bucket List, R&R, Summer, and Coral. Then on the last 2 rows we have Panoramic, Mojitos, Scenic Route, Coconuts, BRB, Palms, Explore, and Unplugged. Just so you know, the shade names are on the little plastic thing that comes off. So, but luckily they are also on the back of the palette, so it's not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead into the application. So now that we know about the product details, we've gotten the swatches, we've seen how it applies, so now comes the pros and cons of this palette. So on this channel, we start out with cons first, we end on a positive note. So let's start with cons. I really only have one con of this palette, and as you may have seen, I'm not sure exactly how much of it I'm showing and how much of it I'm editing, but as you may have seen in the application process, the matte shades actually took a little bit to blend out, and that could have possibly been because I was mixing 2 shades, and I was mixing like a light shade with a dark shade, so that may have been why it took a little bit longer to blend out and was a little bit patchy at first. But I mixed in this shade right here, which is Palms, and then this shade up here, which is Sandy Toes. I wanted like a light green color to go in my crease, but there wasn't a light green matte shade, so I just lightened this shade up a little bit with this up here. And it definitely was a little difficult to blend, but like I said, that could have been because I was mixing a dark and a light shade. So it's a con, but it could possibly be explained away, so there you go. Moving on to pros of this palette. Pro number 1 is the color story of this. Now, the reason why, as I was saying before, the reason why I decided to go with this palette over the other LA Girl palettes was the color story. I really enjoyed it because this is a color story. It's Hey Hey Vacay, so it's meant to be kind of like a summer palette, and I definitely do get summer vibes from this, but I feel like you can kind of continue throughout the year with this palette. So I really love the colors. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know green is my favorite eyeshadow color. I love playing with greens and playing with like bronzy shades and coppery shades. Those are just my absolute favorite eyeshadow colors to use. So yeah, I absolutely love the colors in this palette. You get a couple of like kind of orangey shades as well. Just, it's like a palette of my perfect eyeshadow shades. So love it. Pro number 2 is actually the color payoff for both the mattes as well as the shimmers. I definitely noticed it with the shimmers when I was doing my swatches. I was so impressed by how much color I was getting from these shimmers. The shimmers are beautiful. I really want to play around a little bit more. I used 2 shimmer shades today and I absolutely love how they came out. The matte shades also had quite a bit of color payoff as well. I love the colors of the shimmers in here because all of them are not just like face value. All of them, like this green shade right here, as I was kind of pulling it down, it had a bit of a gold tint to it as well. So I love all of them. Great color payoff, great colors. Ta-da. Pro number 3, this I think would be a great travel palette. It's a little bit thicker than what I usually like to travel with, but it still is one palette. You have so many shades that you can use. You have a good number of mattes. So as I said before, there are 7 mattes in here. It's a substantial palette though. Like, it is a sturdy palette, which I think makes it a good travel palette. It doesn't have a clasp that could possibly get broken and no longer be of use while you are traveling. It's just like a hard close. So I really like it. I think it's a great travel palette. So now that we've talked about all the pros and cons, what is my final rating? So I think, based on the fact that I had a lot of great things to say about this palette and only one negative that I kind of explained away, I'm gonna give it 4.5 sunflowers. I would give it 5, but you know, I'm just gonna give it 5. I feel like I've been giving 4 or more sunflowers to like all of the products I've tried recently, but I feel like I've tried out some pretty good products, so I'm interested to find more because this is not a new palette. I just decided to try some things that I had never tried before, that I had seen in stores that I had just passed by a lot of times. So I'm looking forward to trying out more products from LA Girl and maybe some other brands like Hard Candy. I feel like nobody ever talks about Hard Candy either, but trying out some more brands that are a little bit underrated. I would recommend go out and get it. I also really like the size of the pans. These are a lot bigger than what's in a normal palette. Yeah, I really like that as well. Anyways, there we go. Alright, so that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload every Tuesday and Thursday. Give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.